In this fourth problem, we'll be dealing with an old exam question from a previous business stats problem. Okay, so we're dealing with a large hospital wholesaler that gives a safety assessment test to a random sample of 64 of its employees. Suppose 64 of the total employees that are working in this warehouse, perhaps. And the sample mean for the 64 employees was a score of 75 points with a sample standard deviation of 15 points. Okay, and in this case, we're asked to determine a confidence interval for the mean test score for all employees. In other words, we're performing what's called an interval estimation of a population mean mu when the population standard deviation is unknown. So we do not know what this value is. Okay? So what are we given in this problem? We're given x bar, the sample mean. We're given the sample standard deviation, S, and we're also given a sample size, n, equal to 64. We're also told that we want, actually I forgot to write it down, but we want a confidence interval of a 90%. So we're also given our confidence interval here, which means that we also can find out what alpha is. So alpha being our significance level. This is going to be 1 minus 0.9, right, for the confidence interval, which is equal to 0.10, and that's alpha. And we're going to be using a formula which is found on page 359 in your textbook. It's equation 8.2. And this confidence interval is for the mean, for the population mean, mu, will be found using the sample mean plus or minus a t-statistic for alpha divided by 2 times the sample standard deviation divided by the square root of our sample size. And now you'll also need to use the t-distribution table found in table 8.2, also found in the back of the book. And this is essentially t.05, right? Remember, alpha divided by 2 is 0.05. And this t-score for our sample size, n equals 64, is 1.669. Okay, so now it's fairly easy. 75 plus or minus 1.669 times 15 divided by the square root of 64. And to continue, all of this essentially equals 75 plus or minus 3.1294. This is our margin of error. Margin of error, or sometimes just denoted E, capital E. Okay. So in other words, we can rephrase this as saying that we are 90% confident that the population mean, mu, the mean test score for all employees will be between 71.8706. Let's see here. Rewrite this, sorry. It's mu. And 78.1294. Okay, and that's it for the interval estimation of a population mean when we don't know the population standard deviation.